How do you save time painting miniatures? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you some answers to that question. Heyo, fellow plastic painter, and welcome to the Painted Plastic Show. My name is Charles, and if we're just meeting for the first time, I help beginner miniature painters learn to save time and money by teaching them to paint fast and effective. And we're going to talk about how to save time when you paint miniatures. Now, there's a bit of a caveat with these. I'm going to be giving you 3 different ways you can save time. And it's kind of at your discretion. Some of it is quality versus speed argument that will go on for the end of time when it comes to miniature painting. So take it with a grain of salt and implement the techniques you think will work best for you or you think will save you the most time. So without further ado, let's do it to it. So my first tip for you is not to wash dark colors. So I mean colors like black. Don't put a wash on black. While there is a difference being made in the color, like there will be a bit of a shift in the tone and stuff, you don't have to do that. Like it's very minimal. I find it's very hard to notice that kind of stuff. So I would say save yourself some time and just don't bother washing really dark colors like black or a super dark brown, you know, things like that. When you see a color that's like so dark, it's like, will a wash even do anything to that? I would say don't bother. That's gonna save you time because you don't have to wash that miniature, and it's gonna save time because you don't have to sit there waiting for the wash to dry either. So you can just move on with your miniature painting. So that's one way you can save time. Another way you can save time is don't highlight everything. Sometimes, again, with those darker colors, you don't necessarily need to highlight them. They're dark for a reason, you know, and struggling to bring out color with those darker ones can be pretty difficult. You know, trying to bring out black, trying to do highlights on black can be pretty challenging, even for experienced miniature painters, you know, mixing in the right amount of a dark gray or something, or a really slightly less dark black, or putting in like a really dark blue or something, trying to bring out a little bit of color in something. It's pretty difficult for a lot of painters, especially if you're just starting out, you're a beginner painter. Like, it's pretty tough to do that kind of stuff. So I would say don't highlight up super dark colors either. Just leave them be and move on. Next up, to save you some time, I would say use dry brushing effectively. So if you're gonna use dry brushing, I have a video on how to dry brush if you've never dry brushed before or you don't know what dry brushing is. Pause this video, go check that one out and come back. I'll wait, don't worry. With dry brushing, the trade-off with that is you have a dusty effect with your highlights and such. So it works best on textures like fur or like upraised edges, something that's gonna catch a lot, like rocky textures work out really well for this as well. But if you're not bothered by that, that's gonna save you from highlighting individual parts of a miniature. It's a quick and dirty method and it'll save you a bunch of time. Question of the video, are you already implementing some of these tactics? And if so, which ones? Leave a comment down below. And if you're getting any sort of help or value out of this video, leaving a like really helps out a lot. So thank you a bunch. Next up is Zenithal Priming. A quick way to get fast highlights on a miniature is to Zenithal Prime. Now, it's gonna take you a little bit more time in the prep stage, but it's gonna save you a bunch of time in the highlight step because you're gonna see where all the highlights should go and such. Or even if you even wanna put down highlights, sometimes this creates natural highlights and you don't even have to bother with that. So it's up to you. You have to make a judgment call yourself if you like the look or not. But if you don't know what Zenithal Priming is, there's a link here in the video I did all about priming where I talk about Zenithal Priming. But the down and dirty of Zenithal Priming is you're gonna prime in black first, then you're gonna prime in gray on a 45-degree angle, and then you're gonna prime in white straight down from above. And this is gonna create a natural gradient on your miniature. Next up is using contrast paints. Contrast paints are these wonderful little things that Citadel Games Workshop has come up with. They're effectively a wash and a base coat all in one go. So you can use them to base coat like a bunch of miniatures in whatever color you're using. Like if you're painting Blood Angels, for instance, you could contrast paint Blood Angels red onto them. All of a sudden you've got a wash and a base coat already onto your miniature. That can save you a ton of time, because then you basically cut out the whole base coating step and you're just sitting there waiting for the wash to dry. One cool thing is you can combine your zenithal highlighting, as I mentioned before, with your contrast paints. It works wonders. It can really save you a ton of time. It gives natural highlights all over the miniature. It looks great in my opinion. So if you liked all that, leaving a like down below really helps out. Subscribing, hitting that bell icon so you never miss an episode of Paint It Plastic People, of the Paint It Plastic show, or any of the specific techniques that I break down in other videos, or things that save you time and money. Remember, you can share this with other beginner miniature painters or anyone else that wants to know how they can save time painting miniatures. That's always appreciated as well. But most important of all, remember to get it to the table and have it a good day.